The Spin-off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network in collaboration with KiwiBank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spin-off Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
It's 1999. Lou Bega's Mambo No. 5 is New Zealand's favourite song, and Shania Twain's Come On Over is the best-selling album of the year. If you're wondering when the Feelers were hitting their peak, it was now, in 1999 with the album Super System. The biggest news is the general election, where the Helen Clark-led Labour Party formed a coalition with Alliance to strip the country's leadership from Jenny Shipley's National Party. Meanwhile, stripping of a different nature was happening on our screens, leaving the mouths of a nation watering for a chocolate-coated caramel bicky. Join us as we remember when Carlos Spencer took off his clothes for a toffee pop. Koutou and welcome to Remember When, brought to you by The Real Pod. It's your weekly dose of pop culture nostalgia in Aotearoa. My name is Jane Yee and I'm joined by the gooey caramel and delectable choco to my boring biscuit base, Duncan Greive and Alex Casey.
Hi, Jane.
Hi.
This is exciting. What a year. Mambo No. 5 and Come On Over.
You peaked. Like, this
It
is
was
all of
me.
your main interests.
I was 8 and it was great.
I was 20 and a lot older than you.
Were we
Yeah.
dating?
Maybe. I mean, it depends on the month because it was only a month. But look, it was a time to be alive. I was at university. I had like a student loan that I should have been spending on textbooks. But I was, as you do with your student loan, you're spending it on things that are just completely selfish, like chalky treats. And I was probably also a bit horned up. So this ad was for me, I was the target audience for this ad. Bit of disposable income, turned on by an All Black,
You just gestured at Duncan.
I was gesturing in the general vicinity.
Can I just say, not to get off topic early, I was at the election that year. I was in the studio of the 1999
Were you
election.
an Alliance candidate? You must have been low on the list.
Well, my mum had run for the Wairarapa representing the Alliance, but was also Jim Anderton's right-hand woman. So I was in the studio audience playing Croc 2 on my mum's laptop at the age
Wow.
of 8 when that happened.
But none of that struck you more than this toffee pop ad, right? Okay, here was my memory of the ad. It's Carlos Spencer. There's a lady reclining, eating like a whole tray of toffee pops to herself. There's some sexy music. There's a lot of candles. She's in satin PJs. And Carlos Spencer enters the frame and he opens his white robe to reveal 1,000+ abdominal muscles. But none of that's enough to tempt our maiden to share her toffee pops. That's my memory of the ad, right? Let's roll the ad. Let's roll the ad. Aw, Neil. And there it is.
It's so... Like, I remember it as being a normal ad.
No.
Not like it's a Lynchian horror film.
Or it's pornography, to be fair.
But kind of both, like Mulholland Drive,
Like, what is about to happen?
Well, the Mandela effect for me on this is that he was definitely in like tidy whities, and he's not. He's in boxer shorts in real life, all right? And also, I totally forgot about Numpty Husband.
That's what I'm
altogether.
talking about. Like, when they sort of like crash to that for like fragments of a second, it has this kind of gargoyle quality. And what are they conveying? I just so badly want the creative director of... There he is on screen again.
That's just an average Kiwi bloke.
I know, but when you can't possibly remember him like that, when you call him to mind, he's this sort of leering gargoyle. And it's just amazing that that's what a toffee pop does. It turns him into Carlos Spencer.
Like, I had rewritten the ad creative completely. Like, she wasn't going to, even though Carlos Spencer, without any clothes on, wanted a toffee pop, she's not sharing that. That's a different ad campaign.
So
it
you
doesn't
think
exist.
he's like, I'm so shredded, I'm so hungry, I need
like,
a toffee
the
pop.
only way you're going to share your toffee pops with me, because no one wants to share, is if I show you my abdominal muscles. And then she's like, Carlos, not even that. Like, that's how good a toffee pop is. That's not what this ad is at all. It's like she's eating a toffee pop so that she doesn't have to, so she can transcend real life and see visions of Carlos Spencer instead of husband in his flannelettes.
Can I just say, I didn't remember much of this. Not just because I was 8, but because I knew it was something sexy. Therefore, I pretended to be asleep.
Oh, yes, of course.
Whenever this ad was on TV, that was me. I was gone. Because this was the time. Remember the Paradiso ad? This was the Herbal Essence, orgasm. This was a crazy time. The late 90s was a horny time for advertising.
It almost feels like I was watching going, could they play this before 8:30? Like, the watershed?
We need to throw it to T.I. here, because when I asked him to please get the footage of this ad, he was, I actually think I've created an HR issue.
I couldn't believe it. It's so horny.
He enters crotch first. Like, you don't even see his, it's like, it's
I think it's
bad.
the woman's Nala eyes. Nala
Yeah.
from The Lion King that real get me, because I had the same thing. I was like, there's no grey area where this is headed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But, okay, let's try and think of it. Like, who is this marketing to? Because traditionally, like, you would assume chocolate biscuits, female shoppers 18 to 49, kind of, that's the sort of cynical ad demographic. But is it actually going, hey, husbands of New Zealand, are you not getting enough from your incredibly hot wife? Maybe you need to just start buying heaps of toffee pops, and that will just, like, because there's a, was there an ASA complaint from
There was.
frustrated toffee pop buyers going, what, it didn't happen. Like, I still look
there
like this.
actually was an ASA complaint. Of course there was, about objectifying men.
Oh,
Don't believe it was upheld.
Was there some misandry?
I don't know what that word is, but what does that mean?
Listen, it's like misogyny against men, right?
I think so.
It's a phenomenon
hate men.
that men talk a lot about, but has never actually happened.
Right. Well, I actually think it is, the target audience is still your shoppers, your female shoppers, who just want a bit of escapism. Like, they're stuck with flannelettes
But
and
it's
tartan
sexual
robes.
escapism.
Yeah.
Is the logic that the biscuit makes you hallucinate?
Yes.
Like, and so but she has to keep mainlining
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
So you have to keep eating the whole time.
Yeah. Like, buy a double pack.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you're going in there and you're like, oh, he's going to want it twice this week. I have to get 4 packs. Like, it's great. It's a great economic model.
And how long does it last? Like, it's not clear how long the sort of that full vortex, like
Not
ayahuasca
long.
hallucination
Not long.
induced by a toffee pop lasts. So, yeah, I mean, that to me is the ASA complaint, is like, does it work? I mean, I've had toffee pops, pretty good.
Pretty,
But not that.
Like yum.
Out of the fridge, top notch.
Oh, no, I disagree.
Whoa.
You
okay.
can't
Wait,
fridge
room
chocolate. Yeah, I'm a hardcore room temper
I'm
with
a
all chocolate.
hardcore fridge.
I
fridge girl.
also, my ASA complaint is that toffee pops used to be much larger. You can even tell in the ad,
Yeah.
in the hand.
Well, maybe she's got a tiny head.
But you were also 8.
I was 8 smaller
hands.
eyes as well, so things look bigger.
Well, and also just your relationship fundamentally. You're like 3 foot high or something, I assume. Toffee pop, like you're probably at 6 toffee pops tall.
This is true. Kia ora, I'm Alex Casey, senior writer at The Spinoff. We wouldn't exist without the ongoing support of our generous members. If you're able to, you can make a donation at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Talofa lava. I'm Madeline Chapman, editor at The Spinoff. If you have the means, consider supporting our high-quality journalism by becoming a Spinoff member. Sign up now at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
This ad had a huge impact. We've talked about the complaint. There was a general election. Easily the greatest coalition of '99 was not Labour and Alliance, but Carlos and a Toffee Pop.
Do you think it swung the election?
Probably.
People were like, I want some new
We need some new blood in there. Maybe people were eating Toffee Pops as they were doing their voting, But anyway, they even released a 15-second version of the ad when they released their Extreme Toffee Pop, which we'll just watch now.
Extreme?
I didn't know this.
Now you can indulge yourself to the extreme. Even more toffee. Even more.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Two Carlos.
How much extra did he get for double lossing?
Right.
But what's the subtext of that? Like, that's real full on.
Is that like a threesome with the same guy?
Also, is this like the AI recreation? It speaks to the moment of the actor strike and everything. Like, have they just doubled his image? Did he get paid twice
That's
as
what
much?
I'm talking about, Paul
It's 100%. They've just layered the image on top of the image, right? Just like a slight delay there. It's like an echo. And in this ad, husband, they've realised what the nation wanted. Husband ain't there in there at all.
Yeah, there's two men in both ads.
Did you notice on the rewatch something I saw in the background? So in the fantasy verse, behind Carlos, there's like a giant cello mounted on the wall. When it flickers back to the real world, there's a tiny violin.
Whoa, Lynchian, I'm sorry.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
That's cool.
It's cool.
That's cool mise en scène.
But also, what's the subtext of that?
Well, I think we all know.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
You're saying Carlos has got a massive cello.
So this has been, this is, I think...
Sorry, I can't see that man. All the candles.
And the candles.
The candles are skinny. They're not the big fat candles. They're the little skinny ones.
Exactly.
They are absolutely like
It's an absolute
cucking
piss take.
this man
It's
in
an
his own
absolute
home.
piss take.
And Carlos has been living with this ad forever. I think people were giving him stick about it. But he actually did something important for the nation here, right? He broke the seal on the sexy All Black.
Yeah, well, so like basically, so I was thinking about it. In 1995, rugby went professional. Like, it's crazy to think that the All Blacks basically had to work at a bank or pretend to work at a bank for 100 years. And it was only 4 years before this that they sort of, professionalism basically stopped them being kind of 2 o'clock with a couple of beers, it just transported, they had to go forward decades and years. And Carlos Spencer being sexy on a Toffee Pops ad, before then, like they were just dudes. They had moustaches and kind of bad hair, and if they marketed anything, it might have been like a new drench for your cattle. And then suddenly you just see this vision. And that created the preconditions for Dan Carter and his jockeys.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, the modern world as we know it began with this ad. That's my thesis.
Kieran Reid for Plumbing World.
Yeah.
My personal favourite, holding that
Holding
big
the
old,
toilet.
just a giant bog.
We need to do an episode on that, even though no one knows about
And
it.
I can't find it. Like,
I
I'm
know.
sure I've
it's
seen
the
it.
rarest image on the internet. I think Kieran Reid's people keep flushing that away.
The pendulum swung. That's good. The pendulum swung, right? We're going from very sexy Carlos Spencer in 1999 to a very chaste All Blacks in 2011 when they nearly ran an abstinence campaign.
Oh, that's another.
my
that's another.
God.
Remember when I've got on the list.
And we'll go into it fully in another episode. But just to jog your memory, the idea of this was Backing Black was the name of the campaign, and those who signed up to be abstinent during the World Cup campaign would get a black rubber ring to show their support.
Oh my God.
How is that somehow even more kind of horny and weird and like porno than this?
So just, in my opinion, just lean into the sexiness. Like, don't try, because it doesn't matter what you do, it's going to come off
Rugby
sexy
is
anyway.
a sexy game.
I mean, I can't.
30 guys just sort of banging at each other.
Totally. And there was another ad for Toffee Pops in 2018, which was controversial. You wouldn't think it would be. It almost looks like it's aimed at kids. It's three regular chocolate Toffee Pops on a plate, and then a new luxury white chocolate Toffee Pop. And they've got these little animated faces, and they're talking to each other, and they're like, "Oh, welcome." And she's like, "Hi, I'm the new luxury toffee pop. And one of them was like, interesting coat you've got there. And then some people went to the Broadcasting Standards Authority to complain that it was racist because they were being mean about the white toffee pop.
But you know who's eating the toffee pops in their ad?
It's Carlos Spencer.
It's Carlos Spencer.
He's just
Shirt on.
Very
pants
disappointing.
on,
I know.
Fully clothed.
well, you know,
It's been a few years.
It's been a while. It is wild to think that it's like when Chris Warner moved to the UK and tried to be like a normal actor, and then was just like, look, I can't do this. I have to just go and be Chris Warner forever on Shortland Street. Carlos Spencer tried to be like a rugby coach and a normal person, but ultimately understands that he's a toffee pop spokesmodel, and that's his role in life.
Exactly right. And he's paved the way, as you said, for many in All Black to get their kit on. You can barely open your laptop without your screensaver of the full team, you know, in their jockey underwear.
I'm sure it's a big Jane Yee reveal.
Yeah. I just want to make it clear that's actually not my screensaver. I just thought it would be a bit fun. And that kind of wraps us up, I think.
Well, the one thing I do want to talk about is the music.
Oh yeah.
That like, how has no one done like a freestyle over that beat and put it on like SoundCloud? Because that is quality.
It's haunting.
But you see, when I hear it, it's like a lullaby because I'm like, gotta go.
You've got
Go
like
watch
sleep association attached to the Toffee Pops ad. I love it. It spans several generations. What a wonderful little sweet treat to have in our time capsule.
Thank you for your service, Carlos Spencer. And it's still a huge part of his life, right? It always comes up in interviews.
Yep.
He still gets, teased about it to this day. He's done a home reno show. No one's talking about that, though, are they?
No.
Someone needs to get the high res though. That's my only complaint. Is this is extremely 240p what we're seeing up there.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget that we have the Real Pod Extra Substack. Make sure you join that. If you become a paid subscriber, you will get a bonus episode of the Real Pod where we recap reality telly, where we just talk a bunch of junk, but it's a really good time. Anyway, so you go to therealpod.substack.com for that. Hey, thanks, you guys. Thank you to Tia here, and thanks for remembering with us.
Stop it!
It's gonna happen!
No.
It's gonna happen! Good night.
Bedtime for you, Alex.
Are you curious about how business can be better? I'm Simon Pound, and I host Business is Boring, a podcast where I kōrero with some of the most interesting people in entrepreneurship, commerce, and making things happen. Tune in to Business is Boring every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in partnership with Spark Business Lab.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spin-Off. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spin-Off member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate. The Spin-Off Podcast Network.